What are the real needs of people with multiple sclerosis, also known as MS? Everybody working in this field has different answers, from neurologists to nurses, from carers to regulators. Here at the European Multiple Sclerosis Platform, we decided to ask the patients themselves. Our Voice of MS patient survey was carried out in 2015 and was completed by over 2,700 people living with MS in 33 European countries. An important conclusion our survey revealed: MS patients are a long way from standing at the centre of decision-making regarding their own healthcare. Almost 90% of our respondents answered either no or don't know when asked whether MS patients have the ability to influence decision makers on topics such as access to medicines and reimbursement of cost. Evidence shows that starting treatment early after diagnosis has a favourable influence on the course of MS. Linked to this, EMSP's survey highlights that the time between initial MS diagnosis and starting treatment is still long. While 40% of our respondents began treatment within 3 months of diagnosis, the ideal scenario, almost 50% took between 3 and 18 months or even longer. Physical, cognitive, vocational or occupational rehabilitation services are recognised by more and more MS communities as a vital factor in managing this condition. The survey shows that access to rehabilitation is still limited. Indeed, nearly 60% of participants said they do not receive rehabilitation services in their countries. The Voice of MS patient survey also confirmed that, in many cases, MS becomes a barrier to participation in many areas of society. Over 40% of our respondents said they have not been able to make their full contribution for more than 2 years. But who are our respondents? 3 out of 4 are women, and 7 in 10 come from Western Europe. Geography is relevant because there are huge health inequalities between Western and Eastern Europe. Our Voice of MS patient survey provided further proof of this. For instance, when asked about reimbursement of treatment costs, almost 90% of our respondents from France said they get full reimbursement, while only around 10% of respondents from Poland said the same. But, regardless of their whereabouts, people with MS across Europe have to manage the same incurable condition. And this is why EMSP calls to decision makers and healthcare professionals to support them to manage MS better. We propose a short checklist of possible solutions, with more to be found in our Code of Good Practice in MS. 1. Inform and educate MS patients so they can become co-deciders of their health. 2. Ensure greater flexibility in social, disability and workplace policies related to MS patients. 3. Recognise and support the roles of MS carers and MS nurses in the provision of care. You can find out more about multiple sclerosis, our survey, and what we do as an organisation by visiting our website, www.emsp.org. We work to raise the voice of people with MS in Europe.